Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Wano Deck Deep Dive, this time featuring the 27th Guards Motostr, a division that has shown up in Wano history a lot ever since it came out. It is a pretty strong all-rounder, and one of the best basic divisions in the game. So let's jump into what this deck got, and what it maybe lacks, starting in the logistics tab, where we have one leader card, and 3 supply cards, so you can use a good amount of artillery, a good amount of other stuff with this deck. The BTR 80BK K has smoke, is fast, so it's a good leader and can go around places. The other 2 CV cards we have in the tank tab, so 6 CVs in total. It's not amazing numbers, but it's good enough to get you through a game if you're a bit more careful. And we come to why we take the tank leaders when we get there. So yeah, logistics tab like this. Infantry tab, we got our fast section here. We got, I have this one in the wrong unit. We got Motostr in BTR 80s. BTR 80s have smoke, are fast. Feels a bit expensive for what they do, but they're still nice to have with the smoke and all around. And you need the Motostr at the beginning to be decently fast, so having some of them in BTR 80s here is pretty helpful. The Medis can be nice as well, so coming around there. And then Saperi RPO is coming around as a unit that can help out in infantry fights nicely from afar, especially dealing a lot of suppression damage, but also good normal damage there with the 4 shots of those, and can stand down enemies and help you out in those infantry fights. Conquer Sam is special to this division as well. With 23 pen, 55% accuracy, these things can hit really hard, and are the Soviets' best ATGM missiles for normal infantry teams and just all-around usage. 23 pen is really high for Soviet forces, so this one is quite nice to just smack any tank real hard and one-shot a good couple. And then we have Motostr RPG 27, which is the ones that could come with the BMP3, but they also can come in the AG, and that's where we take these guys as for the most part, as the AG is really cost efficient, can help out against infantry as well. And then we have one in the BMP3, because you don't need that many BMP3s. You are not supposed to lose these. These are especially there for the long range fire support. They have a long range HE gun, they have a really long range ATGM. So BMP3s you usually only need half a dozen or so. Like, yeah, we have 5 in this deck, to stand around, shoot their missiles, and be annoying to the enemy. And they are really expensive, so you don't just want to be BMP3 all out spamming. BMP2 AG is a lot more spammable for 35 points less. The Conquerors is still a missile that can kill a lot of enemy IFVs one shot, and yeah, autocannon here is good as well, or it can kill all enemy IFVs one shot, can kill a good amount of tanks with a few rounds as well, so all of this is great about the BMP2. It's not as long range, it's not as fast, so it's not as good as of a long range missile as the one that you get in the BMP3 with the Bastion over here, but it's still really nice. And the AGS also gives you good firepower on those short ranges to just eliminate infantry on top of the already good damage of the 30mm. So this is quite nice. The RPG 27 is a good damage dealer in those CQC fights as well, so pushing these infantry units into buildings works out quite nice. If the enemy gets too close, they get smacked, so all of that works nicely all around as well to get some killer squads out there. And yeah, with the AGS everywhere, you don't need the Polimia or anything else like this here in the infantry tab. Numbers are okay, not amazing, but as you get a lot of BMPs on top, this is still really good numbers actually. Artillery tab, we have the Nonas. They can come in quick, and give you fast fire support that can reposition quickly as well. And we take them at max red, because you can't afford masses of these in this deck that already is quite expensive all around. And with max red, they have a great aim time. Like, the aim time of 21 seconds already not that bad, but at 15 seconds, the enemy, you can really react quickly to enemies showing up. The rate of fire improves as well, so you really can hit the enemy quickly. And then we have some of the accurate Acacias for counter battery, for hitting the frontline units that are stable on the stable front line where the enemy is not moving all that much. You can use these quite nicely as well. Nona can also put down smoke quickly and so on. Like the low aim time is really helpful for these guys. So we take the Nonas here. If you want, you could also do something like this with D30s. Like they are comparable here in all the capabilities. So, but the Nona is on a mobile platform and so on, so I'd rather take the Nona that can move around, even though it's a bit less accurate and you have to push it a bit closer. But the fast speed and so on of the Nona is quite nice. Then, tank tap, we have the TADBVKs as the leaders, and those we take especially because you can't afford individual IFV that doesn't do anything at the beginning of the game. So buying a TADBVK leader at the beginning of the game is helpful. And then in the late game, being able to push with your CV when you have to push is helpful as well. Plus, you get more TADBV cards in the deck without having to split it off to the leader cards. So it is a bit more pricey, sure, but it's still a good tank. It's not the best tank, the BVK, especially not without the ATGM. This one here has the ATGM, this one doesn't, so I think it should be 10 points cheaper for not having the ATGM. 295 points would be all fine still, but it is a solid tank, and as it is in so many good divisions, yeah, it currently won't get above that easily. BRDM 2 conquers M's, really good stealth with a really good missile. That's a great setup for murdering stuff. The Spurt B, unfortunately, too low of a range to really be efficient, so yeah, we go around with these guys instead. And then TADBVs here with nice levels of veterancy coming around, killing off a lot of stuff as well. And yeah, just a good amount of heavy tanks here to get you through the game. You have to be careful. You can't just go into a grind match with your heavy tanks, but as you have enough IFVs and so on, that's not what your tanks are supposed to do. They're supposed to tank for your IFV wave or your BRDM2 Conquerors and so on, so that those can help you out with killing. You shouldn't just build up big tank blobs. This is not what this deck is about. It's about combining the tanks with the IFVs and it's just setting up a strong offensive like that. You then have even more BMP2s in the recon tab with some Rachvetka BMP2s. The BRM 1K helpful for these armored plops as well to give its optics, and the Spets Rachvetka here with the GSR helpful for the flanks as well to really give you good optics and help you see the enemy nicely and push forward with that and really have some good optics here with exceptional optics here and exceptional optics with the GSR here. You can get a lot of intel on the battlefield and move forward accordingly. Really helpful to have this amount of power and full optics in this deck. The Motostr helping out with the BMP2 nicely in the openers too, to not get overrun all that quickly. AA, Strela 10 M3, good because it has such high range and decent accuracy. It still has the high aim time because no radar, but it also can't be hit by seed, and that makes it a nice weapon. It's as expensive as the others, and the others are better. So this I would only bring around if there's a lot of seed around. And then otherwise use the Tor and the Tunguska. Tunguska now with extra range against helicopters. Really great helicopter killer. Tor, a really solid plane killer. Great accuracy, good range, hard-hitting missile. And yeah, that means that these two usually can help you out quite nicely, keeping the sky clear. And the Igla is nice just as a man pet because it can go places where the others can't, into buildings and so on, helping out on the flank and pushing into helicopters with good HGMs a bit easier maybe, though these can all do that as well as they outrange the HGMs of helicopters, but still having some man pads can always be helpful, and that's where the Igla comes in. 35 points, fair price as well. And then helicopters, we have an AA one. Can be nice in openers, especially against decks that will use recon helicopters for sure against you. One-shotting those can be really nice, while still having firepower against enemy infantry and enemy deployment units. And the Mi-24V rockets with the cocons and the big rockets can be helpful against everything as well, whilst being at a fair price point as well. The other one here has the smaller rockets. I like the bigger rockets a bit more because they're both cheaper to resupply and have a good impact quickly. Whereas this one here can fire a bit longer, but this one here hits hard from the get-go. And then air tap is really expensive, and that's why the other slots are maybe not quite full, so that you can have 4 fighters and 4 attack aircraft. The Su-17 is a fantastic AT plane. The T-8M nowadays is pretty solid as well, but the Su-17 is just a bit more reliable in getting through there and using its 30 ACM to evacuate. And then the Su-17 M4 rocket can reload decently quickly and can smash off enemy units while it's being a cheap helicopter killer as well. Double 30mm and the two R60Ms can kill off helicopters pretty reliably as well. So that's a good tab here for all around purposes as well. So what does this deck get? It gets fantastic IFV support, IFV infantry. It gets a really solid heavy tank setup. It has heavy tanks. And it gets good fire support. Like the AA is solid, helicopter is solid, air is solid, artillery is solid, and the recon is solid as well. What it doesn't get is forward deployment. That is an issue. It doesn't get a light tank. That is an issue as well. Like having to pay 165 points or more for your tanks can be problematic against decks that are a bit more cost efficient and aggressive with their tanks, and where your BMP2s have to maybe fight gunfights and just get shredded there. Those sometimes can be a bit problematic if there are no great ATGM ranges there to just stop the tanks with that. So that is a bit of a smaller problem as well. And then you also don't have really long range AA, which can be a problem as well when your plops come around, because your cluster bomber can be cost efficient against you even with a suicide run. And in those cases, your AA might just still shoot it down, but not before it kills you. So a bit of a problem there as well. And yeah, in general, the cost efficiency is not amazing, but the quality of all units is great. So yeah, it is a high quality deck here for the Soviets, and works out pretty well if you can get it on board. Just have to navigate the early game a bit carefully and really rely a bit more defensively there, and then use your combined arms to push through and win that way. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you next time. Bye bye, and have a great day.